Well, good morning. Good morning on the West Coast. Good afternoon on the East Coast. Welcome to Business Wit's 30 Minutes to Better Business Results. We're here to share some information and content to help the 53 million freelance contractors, new business owners that have been started in the last 5-8 years since the Great Recession. We work with business owners, executives, and decision makers to improve and achieve goals far faster than they ever thought possible. We typically solve problems in the teamwork area, time management, sales generation, marketing, and leadership. Often we focus in on exit strategy. We do this with world-class content from Brian Tracy and lots of experience and knowledge of various other tools. You know, our biggest solutions are giant. We've done million-dollar projects, we've done lots of different things. But more importantly, when people work with us, they get a basic understanding and an immediate benefit of greater certainty and peace of mind because they understand that they're on the course, on a plan to get a little bit better. So today we're going to talk about a program that we built that we're sharing with a lot of different clients right now, and it's called, let me flip this back here. All right, that didn't work out very well. Ask better questions, get better answers. And before we do that, we'll talk about what is coaching, because Business Wit's a coaching activity. And coaching is really a person that supports a learner in achieving a specific achievement or a personal goal or a business goal. You know, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to support learners that really are looking to accomplish some new goals and different activities. How does coaching work? And again, we'll start this off. We start most of our sessions off in this particular fashion. How does coaching work? It's really about constant, continuous improvement, right? If we're constantly growing, it's based on the formula for compound interest. The activity is to learn, take action, practice, get some feedback, get better at this action, grow, and then repeat the process. We go through this again and again and again on a frequency basis. This program here, 30 Minutes to Better Business Results, is really all about how can you get better in 30 minutes, right? Each week. If you spent 30 minutes each week, then you generated 3 action items to move your business forward, to progress your business. Would that make a difference to your business? And we've had resounding success. That the answer there is yes. All right. So when we talk about asking better questions and get better answers, well, why do we do that? Well, we're doing that really because we're trying to develop better solutions for our clients. But before we can ask better questions, before we can ask and get those better answers, you know, we have to build a relationship, right? And so I'm going to share with you a tool today called the Johari Window, right? And the Johari Window was developed by Joseph Lupton Harrington Ingram back in 1955, and it's a tool to help better understand relationships with self and others. And so what I've done, and I'm actually going to apply this in a couple of different ways. You can actually get this online. There's a questionnaire to figure out how your windows are, but I'll explain what this means and then explain how it fits into the relationship model, whether it's a sales prospecting relationship, building a relationship for sales and prospecting, or it's your own personal team, your management team, your employees. You know, how do I build better relationships with them? Because we know that when we have better relationships, we're able to ask better questions, we'll get better solutions, we'll design better programs. All right, so the Johari Window is really about 4 windows, right? And it's done in this little 4-square thing. There's another way of thinking it's like it's a room or a house with 4 rooms in it, right? So this is a house with 4 rooms in it. And in this room right here, this is a room where you, and we're going to talk about 2 different people, right? You, and we're going to label you Tom, and them, and we're going to label them Sally, right? And this is where, in this particular case, both Tom and Sally are aware of the contents of this room, right? In terms of relationship standpoint, this is what both Tom and Sally understand about Tom, right? Next to this is a room that you have access to, right? Sally doesn't have access to this room. So this is a room where only you have information. This is knowledge that only you know about in this particular room. Down here on the left, that's the room that Sally has access to, right? And that's the room that Sally has access to about you. And she knows what's in this room. You don't know what's in this room. This can be her perceptions, her ideas, and her concepts about you or about Tom in this particular case, right? And then we've got a fourth room here that says it's unknown, right? So neither Tom nor Sally are aware of what's going on in this particular room. Okay, so understanding that, Tom has his house with 4 rooms. Sally has her house with 4 rooms, right? And so how do we use this to make it more effective? Well, here's the philosophy or the strategy, right? The strategy when it comes to building relationships is to increase the size of this room, the shared room, right? The more we both understand about each other, the more effective our relationship can be, right? And so Tom is going to look to increase this room for his knowledge, right? His knowledge. And Sally's going to look to increase this room for her knowledge and Sally's knowledge. Now, one of the things you can do with this is that you can start to share information, right? And so right now, this chart is built with 4 equal squares, but one of the goals might be to get something that looks a little bit more like this, right? Where that room is actually a little bit bigger, right? So how would you do that? How would you go about making that room a little bit bigger? Well, you, Tom, right, you have the ability to decide what you want to share, right? And your willingness to share information and knowledge, right, you could move it from information that's in this bucket, right, and we could move the information into this room, right? And that would then extend this room, this line here, to the right, and that would be a little bit bigger over there, right? So we could populate this room by sharing some information, right? We could tell somebody that we like something about sports or the weather or hiking or our hobbies or our family or any number of different things. We could share the things that we're good at. We could, if we wanted to, if we thought it would be valuable, we could share the things that we're not so good at. We could share the places where we're looking for some help. We could share the places where, excuse me, just one thing here. So in any case, we can decide what to share in this book. I gotta have more water. This is terrible. Dying here. Sorry, guys. We could share. I mean, I could pass this part here with my throat. It's just not working right. Okay, so as we're sharing information, we grow this thing. The other thing we can do is we can ask this person, Sally, to share some information about us. Now, sometimes when you think of what is that, right? Well, that might be Sally's perceptions. Sally might perceive that this is how we behave, or this is how we act, or this is what we want, or this is what we don't want. And so we can ask Sally to share that information with us. So we're asking Sally to push information into this particular bucket, right? Now this happens to be Sally's information about their perceptions of me, right, or of you. You know, so that this box here, which is you, that both of you understand, gets bigger. All right. So then we've got this box down here, right? And Sally can do the same thing, right? In this particular case, Sally's over here, and we can ask questions so that Sally throws information about her into this bucket, right? And that makes this a little bit bigger, right? And then we can contribute information about Sally into this bucket, and that makes that information just a little bit bigger. All right, so the concept is sharing. So we ask questions, we share information about ourselves, and we ask other people to tell us what they feel and how they feel about those things, and then we ask them to share information about themselves. Now, one of the things that's really interesting when we go into the 6 pillars of persuasion, which is a totally different segment, but the second one in that is reciprocation, right? And reciprocation is one of the oldest influence tools that we have. It starts back with sort of the caveman, right? Will you watch my stuff while I go to the restroom, right? And then the other person will then watch, and then you'll watch their stuff when they go to the restroom, right? That's the old story. In this particular case, what happens when somebody gives you a gift or shares information with you, you feel compelled to share information back. Now, in the business model, in the management model, or in the sales model, right? If we share information about what we want from a business standpoint, or let's just say we want to get to know somebody better, we want to know, we say, listen, I'm really good at conversations. I'm really good at accomplishing detailed activity. I'm really good at doing presentations. Most of the time I am. I don't always cough like this. So what happens when we share, we can actually decide what we decide to share is often what gets shared back. Well, we don't know how this is working. All right. So, in terms of the sales model, or in terms of the management motivation model, one of the things you might say is, these are the things I really like, right? These are the things that motivate me, right? In which case, the other person will almost always be compelled to say, oh, really, that's interesting. These are the things that motivate me, right? You could say, these are things I'm really good at, in which case the other person might be compelled to say, this is what I'm really good at. As we build that relationship, this box is getting bigger and bigger. We have the opportunity to have better conversations. At which point, then we can start to ask some really good questions. So once we have the right relationship, once Sally understands that Tom has her best interest at heart, and you do that by building the relationship, then Tom can start to ask a little bit more challenging questions. So based on what you're trying to get accomplished, or maybe even starting a little bit sooner than that, what are your key goals and objectives for this year? Right? If you've got the right relationship, then I might get to those key goals and objectives. And I might get good answers, and somebody may say, well, we want to grow our business, or we need to get this new product launched, or we need to do this thing. And we could dial in and ask better questions, right, so that we understand to a really an nth degree what it is that they're trying to accomplish. We could then follow up by saying, okay, so based on that, what kind of things are in your way? What are the constraints that you have to deal with? Well, we don't have enough time. We have a staffing issue. We don't have enough money. The budget's limited. We've got 3 or 4 things going on. All right, so now we know a little bit about what it is that they want to accomplish. We know a little bit about what their constraints are, right? We can say, well, why is that really important? Why is that valuable? And we can say something like, how are you going to feel when that is done, right? When you get that accomplished, how's that going to make you feel? These are all things that are component of the behavioral change model. Again, that's in Gleicher's formula model. It's a session for another show. But when we get those type of components, then we can build a program. We can build a solution that allows them to accomplish their goals using our tools or our services or our products. Right now, that's a sales model. So that person is really going to be able to accomplish what it is that they want by following the guidance and wisdom that we have, right? And it could be buy my product, follow this program. In a management model where you're trying to get your team to become more effective and accomplish more goals and become more successful, the same model happens, right? Because when we find out what that person really wants, what that person really needs, where do they really want to go, and we build a program for them, they'll have a tendency to say, yeah, that's great. I'd love to do that because then I get what I want, right? And that's really it. People don't change. As a rule, people don't change, but sometimes they do. And they do because there's a desire or a need or a vision or a place they want to go to, right? And if they can get to that particular place and they know how to get there, they can take the first steps, they know how to get to that particular spot, then they could be more successful. So in this particular model, right, this is a little tiny piece of how do I get a little bit more successful at having conversations with the people that I'm trying to work with, right? And it could be my management team, it could be my peers, it could be my employees, it could be my clients and my prospects. And if you take and embrace this particular model and begin to share this information, because you can control that, then you can influence the size of this box identify better questions, ask better questions, in which case you're going to get better answers and you could build better solutions. When you build the best solution to the challenge, issue, or problem that a client has or that an employee has, right, they have a tendency to buy it. Right? It's almost like, why wouldn't they buy it? Because it gets them where they want to go. They become buyers. You're no longer a seller, and you get lots more opportunities for progress, achieving goals, success, more clients, more customers. All right, so in the short run, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a short program because my throat just is not working out well today. I wanted to share this with you, and if you would like to know a little bit more about how this works, or how to build the questions, right? What questions, right? Oh, and one of the things we might talk about a little bit is this unknown box, right? So how do you find out what's in here, right? Because that box is there for you, and that box is there for Sally. And often one of the great tools for what's in this unknown box is the behavioral assessments. There are many assessments. We use the DISC profile on behaviors, how you like to do things, motivators, why you like to do things. We do all kinds of things like that, and we uncover a lot of things that you probably know about yourself, but you really haven't taken the time to get some real clarity on. And when we do that, right, we're going to be moving information from this box into there, right? And so if you talk about strengths or weaknesses, what you do well, what you don't do well, we move it from this unknown category into this category here, at which point then we can share it. So you can consciously, actively try to uncover the information in this particular box so that it goes into this box and you could share it into that one there. So closing off that, if you're interested in talking a little bit more about how to use this Johari window and how to uncover the unknown and how to create better relationships with your particular team, give us a call at the number on the screen. Or can you show the number there? Thank you. Give us a call at the number on the screen, or send us an email, or you can visit our website at www.businesswit.com and use the Contact Us form. And we're happy to reach back out to you and help you identify how to make progress on this particular item. That's all we got for today. I'm going to have to call it quits early because my throat's just not working out right. Thanks, guys.